Snowballs.
Welcome to Snowballs.
You're back. We're happy.
We're back. You're back.
We're all back.
We're back and happy. It's good stuff.
All right, so we're gonna go right into Around the Horn.
So today Around the Horn we're gonna do a little spring training coverage. Spring training has begun, folks. It's a beautiful step in baseball. There's something about spring training.
It's great. It's spring training. You know what started to ruin spring training is the World Baseball Classic, in my opinion. It's just a poorly timed event.
It really is.
You know, and the players end up putting a lot of energy and effort into it, especially if they want to represent their country. Japan seems to be a team that does that often. And, you know, it can end up hurting them in the long run for the season that actually counts. But
yes,
there's none this year, so it's not to worry about until I
guess it's 2012. Maybe next year or the year after that. Okay. But this is not math class. But yeah, I think I agree with you about that. I think some people say about David Wright's 2009 year with the New York Mets. Some people say that perhaps the World Baseball Classic, which he was an integral part of, sort of helped, I guess, make it a sort of a down year for David Wright, where he only hit 10 home runs. But that's in the past, and we are now in the 2011 baseball.
It's 2011 season. Already,
2011.
Folks. Can you believe it?
I can't believe it.
2010.
Oh man. Now I think 2010 was a good season when you look back at it. We can go back. I think we may look at a little bit over 2010 season when we go to our Golden Baseball segment. But Around the Horn, we're gonna give you a little report of the spring training standings as of Monday, March 7th, and the Cactus League standings are currently led by the defending world champion San Francisco Giants at 8-3. Then is Kansas City at 6-2.
Surprise. 6-2.
Imagine that.
Look out for Kansas City.
And then there's Texas, 6-3. Cincinnati, Colorado, and then you look at the Grapefruit League. Atlanta's leading at 7-3. Then Detroit at 8-4. Minnesota at 6-3. How about the Yankees and Phillies? 4-5 and 5-6.
Look, this doesn't really mean anything. To be honest with you, here's the only team I'm actually interested in this spring training is the Tampa Bay Rays, because we're getting a look at their recycling process,
their young players,
their youth, and they're actually 2-7, which is it's the second to worst record in the Grapefruit League. The worst record in entire spring training belongs to the Chicago White Sox. They've only won a game.
One game.
If that tells you anything.
Which it might not, but the Rays, they have an interesting situation. We can discuss this later, but they've got some young players, perhaps rookies next year, Jeremy Hellickson and Desmond Jennings. They could have strong rookie years, and you factor in perhaps a bounce back from Manny and Damon.
I'll give
plus
Manny.
The perennial MVP. Well, I wouldn't say that far, but someone who's definitely in the top tier of baseball players, Evan Longoria, is still on the team. Plus, they've got, in my opinion, a pretty strong rotation led by David Price, the runner-up in the Cy Young voting last year. A couple solid pitchers as well.
Yeah, and although their bullpen has disintegrated somewhat, there's still some solid pitchers in there.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, Grant Balfour no longer a part of the rotation or bullpen.
The bullpen,
and as well as Soriano,
Balfour, and a couple of other. I mean, they took some hits this winter, no doubt. I think we may have gone over them, but it'll be interesting to see how the Rays perhaps answer. I guess in some ways, a pretty dreadful offseason. Not that it was part of their control, that they really could have done anything about it. It'll be interesting, the Rays.
Yeah. So, I think it's fair to say, based on these spring training stats, that we'll see a repeat.
We'll see a repeat.
San Francisco Giants are taking the World Series this year.
Yeah, I mean, they tell a lot. Anyway, we're going to move on to Albert Pujols. Yes, I know this happened a while ago, but just a quick overview. They tried to work out a deal. Nothing really ended up happening. And I think it's kind of obvious because, you know, I think he wants to hit the market. Do you, Fergus?
Oh, yeah. I think he wants to hit the market for the only purpose being to get a good deal, the best deal he can from the Cardinals. I don't see Pujols leaving the Cardinals, especially to go to a place like Chicago. That's not going to happen. When you play that many years and have that much success in a great city with a great team, you're not going to want to leave that atmosphere, especially for the rival team.
The biggest rival of them all, really.
Yeah.
Cubs-Cardinals is an age-old classic.
Yeah.
But that would be exciting, though. You have to admit, it'd be exciting for baseball if Albert Pujols became a Cub.
Yes, it would be exciting
but it would also,
for a year maybe, but then it'll turn into a Brett Favre situation. And
perhaps, or LeBron James.
Sure.
As well. I mean, not necessarily his time with the Cubs, but his free agent process might resemble that of LeBron James from last summer.
It'll just hurt the legacy of Albert Pujols, and that doesn't necessarily matter. Some players don't care about their legacy, and they play because they love the sport, and that's totally respectable.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it in terms of the image of the game, the image of the player, it's not going to be as pretty.
A couple other quick notes. Greg Zahn retires. I love this man.
Greg Zahn, he was a catcher.
He was, according to MLB trade rumors, he always had a knack.
Alright, I'm going to read this for you. Greg Zahn always had a knack for drawing a walk, leading to a 252, 344, 388 line over 4,000 plate appearances for the Orioles, Marlins, Rangers, Royals, Astros, Rockies, Blue Jays, Rays, and Brewers. He picked up a World Series ring with the 97 Marlins and earned almost $18 million in his career. Hey, no, that's actually a lot of money.
Whoa. Yeah, no, I mean, and I'd like to have $18 million.
Yeah, I mean, if you even knew the wage I'm making for this show, you would spit that coffee right out of you. $18 million ain't too shabby, Greg Zahn. I could retire with that. Yeah.
Me too. Indians signed Nick Johnson.
Good going, guys.
Yeah.
Nick Johnson had a mystical 2010 with the Yankees in that he was not really there.
He had a 2010 this year.
It was mystical in that he wasn't really there.